Coach of the Canberra Raiders, Ricky Stuart. Ricky, welcome to NRL 360. Can I ask you this question straight up? Don't know if you saw the show last night, but do you think the ravings of a lunatic journalist on our program about 24 hours ago had anything to do with you getting a plane to Sydney this week?
It shouldn't take that, Ben, to be honest. It's something that shouldn't be me blowing up in the media or Paul saying what he said in regards to, I think, getting treated fairly. I think historically we haven't been treated as fairly as other clubs, and it's my job from a coach who looks after his club and his players to do everything I can for my team.
So, Ricky, I get the sense you're supremely disappointed that it had to go to those lengths. Are you going to use that as a coach this week, and do you feel that your players are equally disappointed?
No, I won't, mate. I won't use that. That's not going to help us at all. It's just disappointing that you keep hearing about a grand final rematch and we get a 5-day turnaround. I mean, planning's everything in scheduling for my team and also a competition, and having a 5-day turnaround for such a great game for rugby league, because that's what it's all about. Another really important game for both us and the Roosters, but a great game for all the fans to watch and the supporters to watch. It should be treated on a fairer basis in regards to the turnaround, but it's not, and we'll get on with it. But I'll have to acknowledge Peter V'landys for fixing it, and we're now able to fly in and fly out, which should be for the norm for any professional elite sporting team.
Does it get a little bit personal tomorrow night, Ricky?
No, we've got a job to do, Paul. It's not personal from our point of view towards playing well and winning a game of football. It's halfway through the competition. It's an important game for both teams. We come off the back of a very good performance against Melbourne last week. I was actually very happy with our performance against Melbourne, and it was probably the complete turnaround from the first game we played Melbourne, where we skipped away on a bit of a lead and held on to that lead like Melbourne did. We had a little bit of luck in that first game against Melbourne, scored a few points, and I believe Melbourne had a little bit of luck in their points they scored last week, especially with the send-off of Bailey Simonson that should never have happened. But that little bit of luck really helps in this tight competition. You do need a little bit of luck. An ounce of luck helps football teams, and with it being so tight, that ounce of luck gets you a try or two, and it puts you in a really good position in the game of football today.
Rick, it's been well documented you're missing some troops. How have you handled this? And plenty of people are sort of putting a line through the Raiders as a result of that. How have you handled that this week? Do we even address it?
No, I don't. But I have addressed one thing. But both those points, Rudy, have been documented. One, that we're written off now, we won't make the 8, and two, that we've lost a lot of players. Nobody's given us the opportunity to show us what's under the bonnet, to show us what's under the jumper, mate. And it's our job now to come out now and really reveal what we're about here at the club as a group of footballers, a club itself. We've got a lot of spirit and culture, a lot of heart. We have had for many, many years, and that'll be revealed now, the heart we got in the squad itself.
Rick, we saw a great video last week, the handing of the jersey to debutant Kai O'Donnell, and then that special video today, young Semi Valame. I mean, they must be special things to be able to be part of as a coach.
Yeah, well, Ben, there's tough decisions and tough days where you have to drop players, have to cut players, and they're my special moments when you can walk up and shake the hand of a young man and say, look, mate, you've just realised your dream, you're playing your first game of NRL football, and that really excites me. I'm an emotional bloke, and honestly, that was a beautiful part of the day today for me, to be able to shake hands with Semi in front of all the boys and say, well, mate, here you go. You've got a great opportunity now. You're going to play your first game of NRL football, and it'll be one of many. Well,
Ricky, thanks for your time on 360 tonight, and play well in the grand final rematch.
Thanks a lot, guys.
He was head coach of the Canberra Raiders, Ricky Stuart. Well, I thought I'd try and lighten the mood at the start, but fair to say he's in the zone. So, you ready?
Can we get Kenty's cannon out again after that spray from last night? Not the hairdryer version, but the one that actually launches the ball.
I can't believe you're surprised.
No, no, you're right.
I thought it was pretty funny, Ben.
Yeah, very good. All right, well, Roosters coach Trent Robinson spoke today, and as you'd expect, he was very measured.
To be honest, it's the next team that we're playing. So As I said, you pick the lessons up from your previous games, but you don't dwell on the past. You go and attack the future, and that's what we'll do on Thursday night. We're really focused on what we want to do. There'll be 17 players playing for us and them, so let's go. Yeah, he trained well yesterday, so it'll be when he walks in this morning, but he had a good day yesterday, so that's positive news.
Is there any chance of Brett and Josh reuniting on the one side of the field again?
We'll have to see. You know what I'm like with that. We'll name our teams, but you don't give a day's notice on changes or things that you want to do. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
So Trent Robinson continues to be committed to not revealing his team, giving the opposition an advantage. Do you think that actually works? I mean, in this case, it's who's playing on what wing, Madikavalu and Brett Morris.
It does, Ben. The coach has been doing this for the best part of probably 30 years now, to some degree.
Yeah, some go the other way, they don't care.
It depends who they play.
Robbo seems to think it's important.
It depends on the game and what's at stake. And look, if you've got enough time to figure out, if you knew who you're marking up against, every player has their quirks, they have their strong points and their weak points. Everybody knows everybody so well now. Why not keep them guessing for as long as you can?
Somebody like a Wayne Bennett, having come through that Broncos system where every training session is essentially open and you've got members of the media watching every moment of training, he couldn't give a rat's about anybody seeing who's playing what position.
Who didn't used to study the opposition.
Correct, right. Whereas a Brian Smith, on the other hand, who Robbo did spend time under up at Newcastle, fiercely guarded all those types of secret as the keys to the
wouldn't
castle.
tell his team what was happening until an hour before the game.
That sometimes doesn't help. How does the Robbo approach different from the Sticky approach, Rudy?
Well, I reckon Sticky's very heart in his sleeve, isn't he? At least where we're concerned, we see every emotion Ricky's feeling at all times. It's a bit like Craig Bellamy and Robbo, the comparison there. Robbo's a bit more cool and calculated, but underneath it all, I just think they're coaches who know what they're doing and they're loved by their players in different ways. I think Ricky's more emotive whilst Robbo's just a genius, isn't he? Let's be honest.
I hear you say often about the sport of boxing that styles make fights.
Yeah.
Who wins this fight?
It's a tough one. Look, the Roosters clearly going into the match favourites. The disappointing part about this, 16 of last year's 34 players in the grand final are not running out tomorrow night.
But it's going to be scrappy.
That
get dirty. That's just what I can see.
That falls. That's it. I think that comes into the Raiders. Listen to what Ricky said there. Tomorrow's not about finessing a victory. It's about just going out and playing, smash mouth football.
I could tell that from his first answer.